It's cooking with Miss Julie again. I had a student request. I was so excited to get this request. It's her brother's birthday, and she wants to know how to make a cake. Now, don't tell my sister that I'm making a box cake. My sister is a pastry chef by trade, and I can make some homemade cakes, but in the essence of time and my student, I figured a shout out to a box cake. So I have a yellow cake here, and it has the directions on the back that I'll be reading. The directions I didn't print, but we need water, oil, and eggs. So I have my cake here. I have my oil. I have my eggs, and behind me is my sink. And then, of course, I need a measuring cup, a spoon, which I have, and my glass bowl. And then don't tell my sister this. I have actually canned frosting. Again, it's easier for my student to probably make this unless the family knows how to make a buttercream frosting, which my sister makes a fabulous buttercream frosting. So I'm going to change the video camera, move it down a little bit so you can just see the materials. So I turned my oven on to 350 degrees. I already washed my hands. Make sure you wash your hands. So I like to spray my pan so it doesn't stick. Okay, put that away over there. So we have to open up our cake mix. Sometimes it doesn't open up right away. Sometimes you have to get scissors or help. This is not opening up for me. So I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to pour it in. I could have opened it more. I didn't. Silly me. All right, I like to throw things out as I go along. When I read my directions, it says, going to the box, it says I need 1 cup of water. I have a half cup here. I'm going to fill it up twice because 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 cup. One half plus 1/2 equals 1 cup. So I have my 1 cup of water. Looking at it, the directions say I need to add a 1/2 cup of oil. So let me go ahead and add a 1/2 cup of oil. I will put that in there. Measure it right to the top. If you hear my assistants in the background, they're playing their iPad. So if you hear some talking in the background, that's what it is. And the last thing we need are 3 eggs. I have 4 here, and what I like to do is crack them in a bowl and then pour in. And I know we practice that at school all the time. So 1 egg, and look for no shells. I'm going to pour that in. 1. 2. 'And our last egg, 3 eggs. And for those of you that don't mix by hand, you can use a mixer. I do not have a mixer. I actually have a handheld, but it's too loud for the video. So I'm going to mix this by hand till it's all good. But be careful. Here, I'm trying to organize. But be careful. You don't want to splatter out. And for those of you that have a hard time mixing, we use a switch at school. We use a switch at school that helps. And sometimes you need a parent. I don't know why that shut down. Sometimes you need a parent to help you. You want to scrape off all the sides, get the lumps, and mix really kind of fast sometimes. One time I was making a cake. I didn't mix all the egg. So when you cut into it, you saw the white line of the egg yolk that cooked white. It was kind of really funny. I'm mixing. I want you to see I'm getting all the lumps out. I'm mixing it very well. And then we're pouring it in the pan. Pouring it, making sure you scrape it all out. Don't eat raw cake dough. It has raw eggs in it, so it can make you sick. And then, to be safe, you need your hot pad. I poured this. I'm going to just tap it a quick little bit to get the air bubbles out. Let me show you. I'll move this bowl out of the way. I'm going to hold the camera up so you can see what I poured in there and seeing those bubbles come to the top. I'm going to put it in the oven and bake it. And I will come back to the video later to show you the finished product. I'm going to always set my timer. I made it in a 9x13 pan for 28 to 33 minutes. I'm going to put it in for 30 minutes and we'll check later. Set my timer. 30 minutes has passed. My timer went off. It's time to check our cake. Oh, it looks beautiful. It's hot, so I had to wear a hot pad to take it out of the oven. And the next thing you have to do to make sure it's done is you take a toothpick. You put it in, and if it comes out clean, it's done. Now, we're going to let it cool, so then we can frost it. I'm back. The cake is cold. It's time to frost. So I have a knife, a nice butter knife. We open up our frosting, or mix it, make it. Homemade is so much better. What I like to do is I put little dollops on throughout the cake. Sometimes it's nice, you can microwave this quickly for a few minutes, or a few seconds, I mean, and it softens it up so it doesn't pull the cake as you're spreading it. So, I'm plopping on my chocolate, and then after this, my kids will decorate it with sprinkles, however they want. So for my student that wants to make a cake for her brother's birthday, I hope I've taught you well. So you just take it, you spread it out smooth, make it look nice and pretty. And this frosting has been softened because my dishwasher was running. So my dishwasher heated up the frosting because the heat goes right through the countertop. So this is our nice cake. And then I'm just going to smooth it out here. I always never put a full can on because that's too much frosting. So there we go. And that's how you make a cake from a box.